Hi guys, it's Michelle and today's video is going to be yet another children remembering their past lives video. These videos personally freak me out because I don't like to think reincarnation is real because it scares me like a lot. But you guys really liked this video, the one I did with the child that remembered being Anne Frank and the little boy that remembered being on the Titanic. So I've been obsessed with this show lately called The Ghost Inside My Child, which is essentially telling these stories of children that remember their past lives. That's where I hear the stories and I'm like, this is so interesting, and then I want to share it with you guys. To be clear on that you guys could definitely go deep dive. There are so many different stories, but I like to find ones personally where they find who they were in the past life, or like it's about a specific person or a celebrity. And a couple of these include a couple of different celebrities and I find it so crazy and interesting. But first, I want to thank HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. I absolutely love HelloFresh, and ever since I did my last sponsorship with them, I've been genuinely using HelloFresh weekly. I just am obsessed. Essentially, HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit where you can get easy seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients sent directly to your house. All you have to do is put together the ingredients, follow the recipe, and you have an incredible meal. I am absolutely obsessed with HelloFresh. Like, the meals are so good. Like, the recipes are iconic. HelloFresh makes cooking really delicious meals so easy. Like, it's insane. The ingredients are all pre-measured, so you don't have to like worry about measuring or anything like that, which is honestly like, you don't think how much time that saves you, but it really saves you a lot of time and effort. Like, it's so easy. All you have to do is just follow the recipe and cook the food accordingly. You have like a chef level meal, like just ready for you in your own kitchen. It's also great because you could say goodbye to grocery store trips and takeout because HelloFresh has you covered with that. All you have to do is literally open your front door and you've got 3 meals for you, and like I said, all of the ingredients are pre-measured out. Personally, for me, my favorite thing is that the garlic already peeled. I don't know why this is such an important thing to me, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the last HelloFresh video I did, but it means so much to me that is peeled because I hate peeling garlic. I don't know why. It's just a personal thing. HelloFresh is great because you can make deliciousness part of your week every week, because HelloFresh has tons of chef curated recipes that are insanely amazing. Like, I'm not even there. I've never gotten something from HelloFresh and not liked it. Like, it's always incredible. It's also something for everyone because when you pick your plan, you can pick from family recipes to vegetarian recipes, calorie smart recipes, which I choose the vegetarian recipes because I am a vegetarian, and everything is just like, it's so amazing. Plus, they also have the fun menu series, which is like the Hall of Fame series, also the craft burger recipes. HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so no matter what you get, you're gonna know it's gonna be delicious. HelloFresh is also super flexible because you can add extra meals to your order if that's what you want, as well as you can add yummy desserts like cookie dough or extras like garlic bread, which I love. Of course, you can also skip a week anytime you need to, so it's very, very flexible. So HelloFresh is now $5.66 per serving, which is a really good deal. So to try HelloFresh out, you can click the link in the description box below or go to HelloFresh.com and enter the promo code Michelle Platti 9. With this offer, you get 9 meals for free, and that's $90 off of your first month at HelloFresh. And also that includes shipping, so definitely go to HelloFresh.com and enter the promo code Michelle Platti 9 or click the link in the description box below to check them out and get that offer. I definitely recommend checking out HelloFresh because I'm obsessed with it and you will be too. So anyway, let's get into the different stories that I have found for you guys. These are some of the craziest past life stories that I've personally seen. I just think they're chilling, really. So this first story about a little girl named Alexis, or Lexi for short, really just, it creeps me out a lot. Lexi is from Mount Pleasant, Tennessee. As a baby, she couldn't ever sleep. She had nightmares, which is very common in these past life remembering cases. A lot of the children report having nightmares. She would wake up screaming. She would wake up pulling her own hair, pulling whoever like was in the room's hair, like her grandma or her mom. And it just sounds terrifying. From a young age, like literally the age of 2, she knew how to hold a pencil normally. I would say like regularly when kids color, they hold like their pencils and their crayons in a fist because they don't know how to like correctly hold a pencil yet. But this kid could perfectly hold a pencil, which I find to be really weird. So did her parents, but I mean, like I said, they didn't think too much of it yet. Lexi would have conversations with people who weren't there, which of course kind of freaked her family out a bit. She started looking out of windows and being like, oh no, they're coming. And she just kept saying that. And she repeated this for like 6 months, they said. Like just continuously would look out the window and be like, oh no, they're coming, which I would cry. Like this is why I kind of don't want to have children, because they scare me. Like I said, she kept repeating this for months, and this would continuously happen where she would be like, oh no, they're coming, and look out the window. At first her parents were like, wait, what? Like who's coming? But then obviously once this persisted, they realized that no one was coming and it was probably just her imagination. Till one day, when she looked out the window after months of saying, oh no, they're coming, she says, oh no, they're here. I literally hate that. Like, saw that and I was like, wait, no. Just no. Even creepier, her parents were like, no one's there, like, because they were a little freaked out that she all of a sudden changed her oh no, they're coming to oh no, they're here. They were like, no one's here, sweetie, you're fine. And Lexi said, yes, they are here and they want to hurt you. And she pointed to her mother, which I think I would literally shit myself, and like, I don't know what the hell I would do. Like, that's so fucking scary. So Lexi's parents were a little bit freaked out by this, but pretty much they just continued on and figured it must be part of her imagination. However, she would continuously talk to people that weren't there, that no one else could see. One day she was with her grandmother and she said, look at those people over there. She was talking about them and her grandma was like, who are they? Like, what are they doing? And she was like, they're mommy and daddy and they're on fire. But she wasn't saying they're her mommy and daddy. She was saying they're like just a set of parents and they're on fire, which is obviously really creepy. So one day Lexi and her family were in the yard and a plane flew overhead and she just started screaming and crying her eyes out, like just throwing a huge tantrum, like terrified, just genuinely terrified of this plane. And she kept screaming and crying and saying, it's going to fall, it's going to fall, it's going to catch on fire and it's going to fall. So her mom asked Lexi saying, have you ever been on a plane? And Lexi said yes, even though in her current life she has never been on an airplane. So her grandmother asked what happened on this plane that she's talking about, and she said there was a bad storm and then the plane caught on fire and fell. Lexi also would continuously claim that she was on this plane with her little sister. One day Lexi was just hanging out with her grandma and she said to her grandma, I'm almost 9 years old. Her grandma said, no, Lexi, you're almost 3 years old. And Lexi said, Lexi is almost 3 years old. And then her grandmother said, well, if Lexi is almost 3 years old and you're almost 9, then who are you? And then she just said, not Lexi, and then ran away laughing, which once again really creeps me out. I just don't like that. So one day Lexi was coloring in her book and she wrote down the number 866. And her grandmother saw it and she thought like, oh, someone else must have wrote it because it must be like someone was writing down like a phone number or something like that and just didn't finish it. But then her grandmother realized that no one else had been in the house besides Lexi, so only Lexi could have written it. Her grandmother decided to try to type in 866 plane crash, like she thought maybe this was the number of a plane or something like that. She didn't find any searches and she threw the paper away, but then she kind of started to think, she was like, 866. What if that means August 1966? So she typed in August 1966 plane crash, and sure enough, a really bad plane crash came up. When she was researching this plane crash, essentially what happened is that the plane started to go down and it caught on fire and, you know, the plane fell apart exactly how Lexi described. Also, when she was Googling this and doing research on it, she found like a list of the people who passed away in the plane crash. And there were a set of sisters who were on the plane together and they were aged 18 to 15. Obviously that doesn't really connect to her saying that she was 9 years old, so I don't know what that was about. But either way, I don't know, it's still really freaky to me. And stuff like that really freaks me out. I think that like that kid, her story was like one of the creepiest to me just because of the way she would talk, like, oh, they're coming for months, and then all of a sudden be like, they're here. Like, I would actually shit myself. Like, I would just I don't know what I would do. Some things just like really can't be explained, and that freaks me out. So the next two stories we're going to be talking about deal with celebrities or famous people that are currently not famous but remember their past life as a famous person. So these ones I find to be quite interesting as well. So in Buffalo, Minnesota, there was a girl named Amy. It was kind of a weird child. She just didn't talk, and by the time she was at the age of 2 or 3, her parents were growing kind of concerned because she just wasn't talking. She was obsessed with silent movies. She loved watching old Hollywood movies, and she was really interested in that, even though, you know, none of her parents' other kids ever expressed anything like this. It was very odd. According to doctors, there was nothing actually wrong with Amy, and there was no reason why she shouldn't have been talking. So of course her parents were very concerned when she got to the age of 5 and she was still not saying a word. Like I said, she loved watching old movies. One time she even went to the bathroom and did her hair all up in curlers, and her mom said it was like perfectly done, and she was 4 years old. I could not even barely do my hair in curlers and I'm fucking 21, and her mom was like, I couldn't have even done her hair as perfectly as she did it. Like, she perfectly put it in curlers and rollers. It was as if she knew how to do that. Not only that, but she used to wear lipstick a lot because she's a kid and kids, you know, do that. They like to play with their parents' makeup or whatever, and she loved doing this, and she would perfectly apply lipstick at the age of like 3 years old, 4 years old, which is crazy. 6 years old, Amy finally started talking. She loved shopping at antique stores, looking through everything, and she even saw a dress one time and said, oh, I used to have a dress like this, but it was yellow. Like, just things that were not making sense, but her parents just thought it was her imagination. By the time Amy was 9 and 10 years old, she was absolutely obsessed with old Hollywood stars who died very tragically. She was very into researching them and into looking at pictures of them and movies of them, and she just was obsessed. And she always talked about dying young, and obviously this kind of alarmed her parents. They were like, girl, what? Not only that, but she was obsessed with Jack Pickford, who was Mary Pickford's brother, who was a very, very famous actress. She was just like in love with Jack Pickford. Like, she really loved him, which was weird because when her parents researched who this was, they realized that he had a terrible reputation. It was rumored that he was abusive towards his wife and that he died like of syphilis. Her parents were a little concerned. They were like, you should probably not be obsessed with this man. And Amy was like, no, everything that they said is a lie. I don't know why they're lying about him. They're saying all these terrible things. They didn't even know him, blah, blah, blah. But like, girl, you didn't know him either. You're 9, like, relax. But she may have in a past life. When Amy was 12 years old, she took out a picture of an old Hollywood actress and showed it to her mom and said, this was me in my past life. The person that she showed was an actress named Lucille Rickson. Lucille Rickson was a silent film actress, which is also weird because, like I said, Amy didn't talk till she was 6 years old, and not only that, she was always obsessed with silent films. Lucille Rickson died when she was 14 years old. When she died of tuberculosis, although Amy claimed that she felt like she remembers seeing blood and that there was something deeper to her death than just tuberculosis. So what's interesting is that Lucille and Jack Pickford actually worked on a movie together, so they definitely knew each other, and he was pretty important to Lucille, so it's really interesting that he would be this like very important figure to Amy. So Amy and her parents, when she was around 17 years old, decided to travel to Hollywood, California to kind of try to connect some more pieces. Because Lucille wasn't a super famous actress, it was kind of hard to find information on her. They went to see a Hollywood biographer who pretty much knows like a lot of stuff about a bunch of different Hollywood actors. Basically, even though, like I said, it was known that Lucille died of tuberculosis, this Hollywood biographer said that he found out that it was a possibility or a rumor that Lucille was actually taken advantage of at a young age and got pregnant and had an abortion and then died from the complications from that. Which would make sense because Amy did say that she didn't believe that she just had tuberculosis. She believed that there was blood and other things involved, which probably would be true in the case of this. And Amy was like, that was Sid Chaplin that did that. When we were filming Galloping Fish is when that all happened. Hollywood biographer was kind of taken aback by that because he was like, damn, like how did you know that? Like they did actually work on that film together, Lucille and Sid Chaplin. So it's pretty crazy that Amy, you know, felt that. Amy and her mom decided to visit the house where Lucille lived and died in, and also decided to visit her burial site. So it was very emotional for Amy, of course, and it's pretty interesting to see, and it was really crazy. I love when it's like a celebrity, because then there's more pictures of them and helps the child understand it more, I think, because there can be more information. So yeah, I just thought that was really crazy, especially the fact that like she didn't talk till she was 6 years old, and like she was obsessed with silent film. So meanwhile, the person that she's claiming to have been in a past life was a silent film actress. Like, it's pretty crazy. The last story is absolutely like one of the craziest ones I've ever heard, and it is about a girl named Anissa from Elk River, Minnesota. So Anissa was very sensitive to other people's emotions when she was growing up. She was very empathetic and always wanted to make people feel happy and better. When she was in kindergarten, her mom was driving her to school, and all of a sudden she said, "Mom, Bailey's here." She looked like she was like petting like a dog, and her mom was like, that's so crazy, because her mom actually had a dog, a little Pomeranian named Bailey, and the dog actually passed away before Anissa was even born, which is pretty crazy. Anissa also told her mom that she got visits a lot from her past daddy, and that they were in heaven together, and they would write these songs and write stories and poems and just do a lot of writing together, and that they just like really loved each other, you know, in a father-daughter sense, and they were just really close. And she said that he would come to her in dreams. So when Anissa was 5, she started drawing pictures of her past dad that she remembers. She would describe her dad, that he actually wrote books and wrote stories, and that was his job. Anissa would also always say that she was a girl from New York. She would go into extreme detail about New York City, even though she had never been there. So when she got older, she still had night terrors, and at 10 years old, she would always claim that she saw an orphan boy in the mirrors. Like, whenever she was in a mirror, like getting ready, she would see a little boy who would try to talk to her, and it freaked her out, and she literally was 10 years old and not even going to the bathroom by herself because she was terrified, and that freaks me out a lot. She was a very creative kid. Like I said, she would write all these poems and write little stories and things like that. And when Anissa was 9 years old, her and her parents went to a hockey game, and when they were coming out of the hockey game, they passed a statue, and Anissa just ran to it and was like, "That's my past daddy, like, look, that's him, that's him." And the statue was of F. Scott Fitzgerald, who you've probably heard of. He is the writer of The Great Gatsby. He is, of course, also a writer from New York, which is pretty much exactly what Anissa described. Her parents didn't even know who F. Scott Fitzgerald was, so I don't think there's any way that this 10-year-old did. Her mom like went home and did some research and printed pictures of F. Scott Fitzgerald and, you know, laid them out on a table for Anissa, and she was like, "Yep, this is my daddy, this is my past daddy, this is what he would wear, this is what he looked like." She even said, which really freaks me out, that in her past life she used to be named something that was similar to her dad's name, which of course is F. Scott Fitzgerald. And F. Scott Fitzgerald's daughter went by Scotty, which really freaked me out. That's just insane. So Anissa, of course, you know, continued to have these memories, and when she was 16 years old, her mom actually found a letter online that was from F. Scott Fitzgerald to his daughter, and it was like talking about like letting go of the past and, you know, just focusing on the present. It's just something that F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote to his actual daughter during that time period that he was alive. In order to get closure, Anissa wanted to go back to the statue, and her parents brought her back there and gave her the letter as well at this point in time, and said, you know, this is from F. Scott Fitzgerald, and it was written to his daughter. So of course Anissa read the letter and, you know, decided that it was time to continue her life as Anissa and to leave her past in the past, and, you know, that was kind of it. But it just, I don't know, it really freaks me out. To me, the name really freaks me out, like knowing that her name was like Scotty in the past life, and that's similar to F. Scott Fitzgerald, obviously. It's just so weird. It's so weird. I think certain things like past life experiences really freak me out, because like the only explanation is that the parents are lying, but obviously that's not a very good explanation, because it's like how much press are they getting over this? Like, what, Like, how much money could they possibly make from like filming this episode? I just don't know. It's interesting to believe, like I just think it's crazy. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. But that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up, but let me know in the comments below any past life stories that you find to be interesting, or if you have any of your own, let me know in the comments. But that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram because I'm always posting really dope ass shit on there. Subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys later. Bye!